Greetings of peace, shalom, salam. As the publicity remarked, this is part of our celebration of Global Interfaith Harmony Week, which is February 1st through 7th, which is really, I think, nothing more in tune with what happens here at the GTU in terms of our efforts to take our scholarship, our critical thinking, and apply it to the pressing contemporary issues of the day. And I think clarity and understandings of religious traditions might be more urgently needed now than ever before. And so we're very glad and honored to hear from Professor Ayoub shortly on the relationships between scripture revelation and various Abrahamic traditions. But I won't say more because my colleague Munir Jiwab will be introducing you formally. This event is really sponsored by the vision of the Walter and Elise Haas Fund that gave us a grant for this year for the joint programming taking place between the Center for Islamic Studies and the Center for Jewish Studies throughout this year as part of what we've called our Midrasha program. Both the Arabic and the Hebrew there referring to the activity of daras or darash, which is to inquire, seek out, and study. And so that is our hope that this program will be a part of that process. I do want to just take a moment, perhaps I didn't mention my name. I'm Dina Aronoff. I'm the director of the Center for Jewish Studies at the GTU. I want to greet so many of our colleagues, staff, President Reese Potterveld, who's here with us, community members, new and old, and thank you again, faculty and families of students. Welcome for being here. Just to mention that this event is loosely paired with a lecture that the Center for Jewish Studies is co-sponsoring with the Center for Jewish Studies at UC Berkeley, a lecture by Raymond Scheindlin, who is a translator of the Hebrew poetry written by Jews in the Islamic context of medieval Spain. So we're kind of linking these two lectures. That's at 4:30 tomorrow in Dwinell Hall at UC Berkeley. I also just want to mention that the Center for Jewish Studies is also co-sponsoring, I'm looking for Bob, a series of lectures with scholar Chava Tirosh Samuelson on environmentalism, climate change, theology, activism, and that'll be in early March. The Center for Jewish Studies is hosting her lecture on Jewish environmentalism in particular, March 7th, 5 o'clock in this room. But there will be a whole series of public events related to her visit as a fellow with the Center for Theology and Natural Sciences. So please join us for that as well. And one last date to mark is April 6th. Those of you who are friends of the Center for Jewish Studies know quite well that we host an annual event in Jewish Studies, a symposium. This year our topic is Norms and Heterodoxies in Jewish Culture. Some of the speakers include Daniel Boyarin, our very own Nomi Seidman. I will be speaking along with Rachel Manikin from University of Maryland, Eric Gruen from UC Berkeley. So if you can clear the day and come study norms and heterodoxies, of course we wish Professor Ayoub, if you make another trip to the Bay Area, we would love for your input on the place of heterodoxy and kind of free-thinking spiritual life.
And also the Hebrew poetry written in Spain with interest.
Yes, so we want to keep you here, and we really treasure every minute of your presence. So I will, with that, invite my colleague Munir Jiwa for introductions as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dina. Just want to greet you with salam alaikum, shalom alaikum, and welcome again. And also thank our president, Reese Potterfeld, who's here, and our dean, Uriah Kim, who was here earlier. Also just take a minute to thank all those who helped put this program together. As Dr. Aronoff mentioned, it's a joint effort by the Center for Jewish Studies, Center for Islamic Studies, and we're, I think, now in our 8th year of these joint programs, which are often public events, they're lectures, they're courses that we do together, film nights, and also events such as an exhibition currently as well that's at the Center for Arts and Religion, and our curator Carol Beer is here as well. So if you have a chance to see that, There's some announcements that we have for various events. You're welcome to share them with each other at the end, and there's also a table at the back if you'd like to pick up any information there, or also leave any information about events that might be of benefit to the community. Also like to thank Reem and Rania and Ibrahim and Murad and others who have helped put all of this together, and for the lovely lunch. So thank you all for your help with putting this together. And especially Sami for coming at the last minute to also record this. So for those who weren't able to benefit from being here in person today, we might be able to, with approval, make a video available later with Dr. Ayoub's approval. So without further ado, I have the great honor of welcoming back Dr. Ayoub, who was here at GTU, at the PSR, Pacific School of Religion, as a Tolson Scholar back in 2008, and as well again 2011, I believe. I may get it wrong. 12, yes, I knew I would be corrected. Yes, 2012. And 2008, we were also honored to have him as a visiting scholar at the Center for Islamic Studies, so that's is a real honor for us. More formally, there's so many accomplishments, so many publications. I'll read in brief some of Professor Ayoub's bio. He's a faculty associate in Islam and Christian-Muslim relations at Hartford Seminary currently. He did his PhD at Harvard University, his MA at the University of Pennsylvania, and his BA at the American University of Beirut. His areas of specialization are many, including Shia Islam, comparative religions, interfaith dialogue, and Christian-Muslim relations. He was born in Lebanon, South Lebanon, and he was a professor of Islamic Studies and in the Department of Religion at Temple University, where he is now Professor Emeritus. He's also been an adjunct professor at the Duncan Black MacDonald Center at Harvard Seminary, where he is currently, and a research fellow at the Middle East Center at the University of Pennsylvania, and as mentioned, the Tolson Scholar at PSR. He also helped devise and launch a graduate MA level program in Muslim-Christian relations and comparative religion for the Center for Christian-Muslim Studies at the University of Balamand in Lebanon. And since the spring of 1999, he's been visiting professor there as well. He's also previously taught at San Diego State University, University of Toronto, and McGill University. There are many, many, many awards that he's received for his outstanding scholarship, service, and efforts in dialogue. His numerous publications include Redemptive Suffering in Islam and the Quran and its Interpreters, Volume 1 and 2, and Christian-Muslim Relations, Islam, Faith, and History. In addition, his articles have appeared in books and journals like The Muslim World, the Journal of the American Oriental Society, Bulletin of Institute of Middle East Studies, and many others. As you can see, there's a long, long list of many publications. But I think most importantly, over the years, I would just want to share personally that I have benefited tremendously from Professor Ayoub's scholarship and his leadership, and especially his mentorship and friendship. And I'm most proud that I can also call him Ammu. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Friends, Assalamu alaikum. I want to begin my remarks with, in a way, an apology and an excuse, if I may. Beginning around 2012, I began to develop Parkinson, and this has been my cross for all these years. And so I may forget things I want to say, or they come later. I will do my best to remain coherent, but I think I will try to limit my remarks to hopefully not longer than 40 minutes, and then have a longer period of interaction and discussion. Now,
Louder, darling.
Louder. Isn't there a microphone? You know, part of Parkinson is you cannot, your voice doesn't carry very far. And I will do my best. If we can be informal and all sit close to me, I will feel better, and I may also.
People are invited to do so. I invite people to pull their chairs closer if you're all the way on the periphery. I myself do what you need to do.
Okay. Now, what I propose to do this afternoon is to present things I'm sure you know well, the ideas of scriptures and revelation from pre-biblical period to the Quran, of course, very briefly, and then ask the question, in what way are revelations of thousands of years ago relevant to our society today? In order to give my talk some contemporary meaning. It can be argued whether we look at it from the point of view of Egyptian religion or Mesopotamian religion, which will concern us more today. There is an emphasis in what we call the literate religions on scriptures or the written record of God's dealing with particular people. Now, human beings have always been, and I think they remain busy looking for the divine in the universe and in human society and in themselves. And among the sources for looking for the divine are scriptures and nature or the universe. Here, for instance, the Quran puts it this way: there is nothing but that it hymns God's praise, except that you, human beings, do not understand their manner of glorification. Now, the search for the divine moved many people very early, beginning in Mesopotamian religion, to the recognition of a chief divinity, whether it be the Babylonian god Enlil or Marduk, or the earlier gods of the Sumerians and so on, and finally the biblical period. Now, our search then for the divine included discovering the mysteries of the universe, and I won't get into this here today, but I believe that space studies and space speculation have become actually our contemporary religion, again looking for the divine. According to science, and I'm not a scientist, the vast infinite universe begins as a tiny particle hanging in empty space, and this empty space becomes cosmos. This is, for instance, expressed in the book of Genesis, where we read, God in the beginning created the heavens and the earth was bohu vabohu. That means empty and void, or chaotic. There was no order. Then God began the process of creation and created a cosmos where there was chaos. Now, this Genesis account echoes, in my view, the important epic of Atrahasis, the Sumerian epic, but for our purpose, more its Babylonian successor, the epic of the praise of Marduk, the popular Babylonian god. And this is the epic called the Enuma Elish, when on high. And in this epic, Marduk is given power by, in a way, a vote of the gods. This is a very interesting idea for our purpose of democracy and election. At any rate, Marduk is chosen by an election of the gods to be their leader to conquer Tiamat and create the world. Tiamat, the sea, was seen as the dwelling place of the Leviathan and other creatures that posed trouble for humanity. And Marduk eventually conquers Tiamat and divides the water into two. The waters of the firmament, which came down to us, and particularly these days in California, and the water of the earth, which was divided into salty and sweet waters. And by separating the firmament from the sky and the earth, we have the idea that is echoed in the Quran, and the Quran, as I will observe a bit later, perhaps returns more clearly to this mythical period of creation than any other scripture. The Quran does not have a story of Adam and Eve. It has a great deal to say about Adam and Eve, but in general, the Quran presents ideas about creation, and it says, "And the heavens and the earth were stuck together, ratqan, and we unstuck them, فَفَتَقْنَاهُمَا." That is God. And so here we have creation as part of divine activity of separating chaos from cosmos. Now, we all know that biblical Jewish culture built on the sciences, if you like, of pre-biblical Mesopotamian civilization. Now, the ancient scriptures that we see mentioned in the early pre-biblical writings, as I said, of literate societies, include the tablets of destiny, later to be replaced by the tablets of the Torah, or the book of destiny. And these were scriptures revealed to kings, priests, or prophets. Now, what came to characterize the biblical period, and this is perhaps in my view, I mean, I keep telling my Muslim sisters and brothers that we really are where we are thanks to the prophetic vision of ancient Israel. And there being the one people who bore the message of divine oneness, Tawheed in Islam, in Arabic, oneness of God, and delivered it to the two succeeding tradition of Christianity and Islam. Now, according to the you see, that's my problem. According to the scriptures that we possess here today, we have the most important, perhaps, part of the scripture is the Torah, which were tablets delivered to Moses, who carried them down to the people. And the Jews also here introduced an approach that is to continue in Middle Eastern religious traditions, namely the idea of commentary or explanation of the scriptures, which in time became part of the scriptures itself. This is what the Jews have called the oral Torah, and which is paralleled by catechism in early Christianity.